Hey guys, good evening. I'm going to do like a podcast style versus a video. I'm hoping you'll be able to take this on the go, put it on your computer, listen to your workout or on your morning commute, or even at home. And today we're going to talk about why adaptogens, which are just forms of herbs or particular herbs that have this adaptogenic property, why they're my go-tos for treating burnout. And it's really important to pick an adaptogen for you wisely because some are too stimulating. And when you're feeling, tired but wired, how we say, you don't want to choose one that's too stimulating because it's going to have the opposite effect that you want. So we're going to talk about the different types of adaptogens, and maybe you can go ahead and pick one out for yourself if you resonate with one. That's great, but always ask your doctor, functional medicine practitioner before you go ahead and take a supplement because it's really appropriate to get the right one for you. And I hope this information will make it a little bit easier for you to pick one out because they are fantastic herbs and they can help so many people. So overwhelm is now technically considered a modern epidemic. I probably don't have to tell you, most of you have probably felt burnout at least once in your life, if not regularly. We all know what it feels like to be sort of running on empty and not giving ourselves enough of that refuel, nourishment, and time to really replenish our stores because we are serving so many people. And as women, we're just taking on so many different roles now. If you're shaking your head or raising your hand, then definitely I can relate to this as well. And women, we truly are bearing the majority of the weight of the burnout. We experience far more stress, and a lot of the times it's perceived stress, but perceived stress is far more important than the actual situation that you're in. And we experience far more stress than men. And this is complex, it's due to so many factors, but mostly it's due to our multiple roles. We have also hormonal changes that are going on in our life cycles. Maybe you're a new mom. Maybe you are juggling teenage kids, a job, older parents that need your care. Maybe you're looking to build your career. It feels like we are in on mode or go mode 24/7. And if that's you, it's going to add up fast. And maybe you felt that. So overwhelm can become a near constant state if we don't keep a check on our to-do lists, and we don't really look, or we need to look into our bodies and say, have I taken a break? Am I taking on too much? Because if you're in this near constant state of being on and overwhelmed, it can definitely lead to the end result of burnout. And I've seen that time and time again. It can take a toll on your health. And studies really do show that women are far more likely to experience burnout, and the impact of stress on our mental well-being and physical health is huge. So we need to take inventory of our thoughts, of our behaviors, of our lifestyle. Are we feeling stressed? Are we overwhelmed, agitated? Have you been losing sleep? Do you find that you're eating a bit more sugar than you usually do? Are you having really bad cravings? Are you noticing tension in your relationships that didn't always used to be there? Are you short-tempered? This was one of a big sign for me, just really agitated or frustrated or overwhelmed at things that really normally didn't overwhelm me. So symptoms of burnout can also be a little bit trickier to figure out. Some people may experience weight fluctuations, they may experience anxiety, depression, even like low motivation or procrastinating can be a sign, or having so many different tabs up on your computer because you're just so easily distracted can be a sign as well. That brain fog, inability to focus, concentrate, memory sort of not being as fine-tuned as it used to be, having to have sticky notes, those can all be more subtle signs that something underneath is manifesting, and it's something that we need to look at. So other signs like digestive problems, headaches, aches and pains, waking, especially around the midsection, that's really where we think of excess cortisol or cortisol imbalances being if you're storing a lot of weight around your midsection, hormone imbalances, signs of inflammation, like joints, aches and pains, changes to your libido. Low libido is a sign as well. And then getting sick more often than you normally would. You experience more yeast infections, cold sores, UTIs, all those things. If they sound familiar, it can be a sign that burnout is driving you really into this survival overdrive syndrome, or this burnout state that we don't want you to be in, because if it's left unchecked, you can go down a path to diagnosis of even more severe diagnosis, such as severe anxiety or depression, or it could trigger an autoimmune disease, rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's, Hashimoto's. It can have profound impacts on your blood pressure, your blood sugar, emotional changes, immunity, mood. Everything is so connected to our stress response that we really need to look at, are we pushing ourselves beyond our limits? Are you sending your body into exhaustion and breaking it down? And eventually your body really has no choice but to kind of slam on those brakes and pull you over to the side of the road. And that's really when you've hit burnout, breakdown, physical symptoms. We're ignoring them, they turn into bigger problems. And it's just being in that state of overdrive, overwhelm, and crashing is not where you want to be. So we can put a pause on the cycle, we can reclaim your health, and we can use these things called adaptogens to help kind of the herbal pause button, I guess they can be, to kind of restore your nervous system and reverse the damage and give you a little bit more vibrancy and promote longevity and well-being. So these herbs are well suited to help us rebound from burnout because they, like the name says, it's an adaptogen. They help us to adapt and heal from stress. So really what they're doing is they're working on our brains and our pituitary, which is in the brain. It's our HPA axis, the hypothalamus, and the adrenal glands as well, to recharge your stress response and help with cortisol production in a way that is healthy. Our cortisol is a cortisol curve. There's certain times that your cortisol should be higher versus lower, and that's all really important. And these adaptogens are just going to help kind of get you back into your rhythm, reduce that exhaustion, help with the insomnia if that's what you're having. So it's really important to get one that is right for you because some are more stimulating, like ginseng or rhodiola. And if you are feeling agitated or anxious or wired, that can really just add fuel to the fire. So we want to choose ones that are more soothing and reparative to your nervous system and help heal any damage that's being done. So it's really important that if your stress response is overactive for too long, that you get an adaptogen to help your burnout related symptoms. And what I would suggest here is typically starting ones that are more gentle. Ashwagandha, reishi mushrooms, combined with other herbs like lemon balm and motherwort, which are not exact adaptogens, but they're more of a nervine. They help with our nervous system, calm the nervous system. So maybe you want to try something gentle like ashwagandha, reishi mushrooms for 12 weeks, in addition to some meditation or yoga practices, as well as a nourishing diet, specifically focusing on proteins and healthy fats at every meal because we don't want fluctuations in that blood sugar balance. It's been shown that up to 50% of people who suffer with anxiety, those bouts of anxiety are actually due to hypoglycemic and changes to our blood sugar. Those spikes and those crashes are really leaving us in an anxious state, therefore craving more sweets. Our blood sugar goes back up and we crash into just a vicious cycle. So we really want to work on diet as the foundation, sleep as the foundation, then adding in these adaptogens as needed to really help improve your resiliency to overall stress. So the more stimulating adaptogens that I was talking about, like ginseng, aren't necessarily so much for women who are in that burnout, completely to the ground stage. But these stimulating ones should be more used for, say you have a higher demand in your life. You need some extra immune boost for travel. Maybe you're doing a more intense athletic training. Maybe you're a nurse and now you're working night shifts and it's just going to be for a short-term time. If you need maybe a great deal of cognitive demand or brain power, like I did when I was studying for my board exams, then you can use these more stimulating adaptogens to help with that short-term extra demand. You want to make sure that you're taking into consideration whether or not that these are safe or not during pregnancy and lactation. Mother Risk is a website. You can just Google motherrisk.com. It's at a Sick Kids Hospital, and they have a whole bunch of articles on what is safe, what is not. You can also call them. It's free to call them and ask if you're having any questions. But the problem with pregnancy, just due to the lack of safety data, is really, I mean, adaptogens sound great for new moms, but you have to be careful, and you want to be choosing the ones that are most gentle and most nourishing, because we don't want anything stimulating passing through the breast milk. So always, please make sure to, especially if you're pregnant or nursing, check with your doctor before adding these into to your fitness or nutrition regime. And what I do is I buy these adaptogens preserved in alcohol. So this is called a tincture. And you can get these at health food stores. You can order them online. Some great companies are Clef de Champs, St. Francis. These are both Canadian companies. You can find a local herbalist. Make sure they're certified and you know what you're getting. Herblore is a US herbalist. She is fantastic. Really great products. So you can look into ordering from there as well. But let's go over some of the soothing, more calming adaptogens. We'll start with those, and we've already mentioned a couple of them. Then we're going to be talking about some nourishing ones, when to take those, and then that's where we're going to leave it off for this evening. So the first one that I mentioned was ashwagandha. Maybe you've heard of this one before. It's one of the more popular ones. It's the mind, mood, and muscle soother. If you're telling me, you know, I'm tired, but I'm sort of wired or on edge, I've struggled falling asleep, maybe you have brain fogs or achy, stiff joints, but you're also a little bit on edge, a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious, this is the one that's going to be for you. So any mind, like brain fog, mood, a little bit on edge, a little anxiety, difficulty falling asleep, and muscle soother. So if you're, you know, you're achy, you're in pain, this is going to be the one for you. It's been used for over 4,000 years in India to help with deep exhaustion, improve sleep, reduce anxiety, and boost memory. And it's also really, that's the one that I've been talking about, that is the muscle soother, aches and pains. That's going to be the one for you. So we need to also be very careful. Get in with a good herbalist, get in with a naturopathic doctor, someone who knows about this, because there is some controversy whether or not ashwagandha can be used safely in women with Hashimoto's and other autoimmune conditions. It's part of the nightshade family, so that might be a problem for any of those who are purposely avoiding nightshades. But, you know, work with a naturopath or a herbalist, someone who really knows you and your situation, and who really knows these herbs and who can help pick the one that's best for you. But that's just a little caveat on ashwagandha. The second one that I talked about in the calming or soothing adaptogen category is reishi mushrooms. So when you think of reishi mushrooms, think of more of an immune nourisher. If you are the type of person who says, you know, I don't necessarily have trouble falling asleep, but I need to sleep better. I need better quality sleep. I need to sleep deeper. I want to boost my immune system. So reishi is that immune nourisher. If you're getting colds and infections more often than you think you should be, and not just like upper respiratory tract infection, also UTIs and yeast infections, which we talked about before, any skin infections, it's also really great at detoxifying your body. It's great if you're feeling overwhelmed and sort of on edge and jagged as well. So reishi mushroom is highly regarded in Chinese medicine to be able to nourish and really support your adrenal glands, which are just those two walnut-shaped glands that sit on top of your kidneys, and they're the ones that produce cortisol, which is our stress hormone. And cortisol is very important, but we need it at the right times, for the right reasons, and in the right amount. Sort of like, I always say we need to eat the right foods at the right times for the right reasons. The exact same as with our cortisol. So reishi mushroom is going to help to calm the nervous system. It can be taken before bed. It's really great with getting that more relaxing, restorative sleep, but it's also really great with immune system. So when I think reishi mushroom, I'm thinking immune system and sleep. So that's going to be really great. Even if you are traveling and you find that you get sick when you're traveling, this might be a really great choice for you. So just to review, we had ashwagandha, which was more tired, wired, trouble falling asleep, and the muscle soother, as well as your mood. So anything like chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, that was ashwagandha. Whereas our reishi mushroom, we're going to be really thinking immune nourisher. So that one is really great as well. And that you can get in a tincture or a capsule, dried mushrooms in a capsule you can be looking for. But again, the caveat with reishi mushrooms is if you have a true mushroom allergy, we need to avoid the reishi mushrooms as well. Moving on to our nourishing, replenishing adaptogens. Ashwagandha can also fall into this category as well, so take note of that. But holy basil is the next one I want to talk about. It is one, it's like the vitalizer. It's great for anyone, again, with any mind, mood, or low immunity, anxiety, depression, trouble sleeping. Holy basil would be really great at helping to shift into a new mindset. So say you know you want to start something new, but you just don't have the motivation to get into a healthy lifestyle. You need a new mindset. You struggle with mental clarity. You just need a little bit extra of an oomph to get your vitality up. Holy basil is going to be great for you. It's also really great for anyone who has chronic inflammation, high blood sugar, even cholesterol and triglycerides. It's going to be great. It's also calms the mind, promotes longevity, it can improve energy, reduce fatigue, mood, anything, even like mild depression. Holy basil has been used traditionally to provide relief from mild depression. And it is actually related to common basil, but basil cannot be a substitute for holy basil. You really need the holy basil tincture. And tinctures, this is just a side note, tinctures do taste like alcohol. Many of them don't taste good. I like having that tincture, having you taste it, I think has extra medicinal properties. Just tasting the herb, smelling the herb, the whole process of taking your tincture. But if you really hate it, you can always dilute it in some water. I would try to dilute it in water before going over to a capsule. So that was holy basil. The next one is Maca. This one is fantastic. You can just get this in a powder. It's actually from Peru, a lot of our maca, and it's considered a food that promotes mental acuity, physical vitality, endurance, and stamina. Maca is really the mother of all hormone nourishers. So if you feel like you have a little bit of a hormonal imbalance, or you want to just improve your fertility, you want to be more vital, have more vitality, have more deep nourishment, if you have low libido, or you just want to boost in your mood, anxiety, depression, maca is going to be your one. So if we are thinking, I'm burnt out, but you really feel it's due to a hormone imbalance and you've got those other signs like low libido, this is going to be the one for you. It can help reduce anxiety and depression. It's rich in amino acids, iodine, iron, magnesium, as well as sterols that possess a wide range of activities to support not only the adrenal glands, but also our hormones. So the dose of maca is actually 75 to 100 milligrams per day. So what I'll do is I'll just take big scoops and I'll put it in my protein shake. It doesn't really have that much of a taste, so that's an easy way to get it in as well. And maca is a really great one. Health food store, even grocery stores will carry maca as well. Normally in the more like organic natural section, but Zehrs, Metro, Loblaws, they all carry it. The next one is Schizandra. Now, Schizandra is an adaptogen that's also hepatoprotective. This just means it has sort of an affinity for the liver, so it's really great at detoxifying. If you say like, I can't focus, I have brain issues, any skin, energy, this is a big one. Schizandra is going to be your go-to if you are all of a sudden experiencing low energy, especially if you try to work out like you used to be so pumped for it. It used to boost you up, but now you get so tired even with the little bit of physical activity. Schizandra is going to be the one for you. It's really great to boost detoxification. So any like skin changes, skin issues, psoriasis, eczema, we really want to help our livers and detoxification, because a lot of the times we can clear up skin issues by working on the liver. So this is it's the elite tonic herb in traditional Chinese medicine. Really great for brain fog, memory problems, calming, anti-anxiety, performance, endurance, energy, stamina. It's a really great one. But note with Schizandra that is especially not safe during pregnancy. Another caveat, please always check with your doctor before starting anything new. So I think that's all the ones that I had listed down for you today. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. I think I had one more. I don't know why I can't think of it. There was one more, but you know what? If I think of it, I will write it down again for you. So just to recap, don't want to take too much of your time. Adaptogenic herbs really help you to boost your resiliency to stress, but we want to choose the one that's right for you. We had Ashwagandha, which was really great for mind, mood, and muscles. We had Reishi for the immune system. Then we went to holy basil, which is like your vitalizer, helping you to shift into that new mindset, make new healthy lifestyle changes, help with that mental clarity. Maca was the mother of all female hormones, really great for women who are burnt out and feel that hormone imbalances are the underlying root cause for them. And Schizandra, which is super hard to say, that was the one that also acts on the liver to detoxify while increasing your resiliency to stress. So a lot of these, as you can see, not only help improve your resiliency to stress, but they also really work on that nervous system to help calm you, help kind of just make you feel less on edge, more vital, more calm, more balanced, etc. So adaptogens are really, really, really fantastic. If you've ever tried an adaptogen, I would love to hear what your experience is and which one you have used. I would love to know your favorites. I hope that was helpful, guys, and have a great night.